Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. There's probably going to be people logging in, and that's okay. We'll hear a little cute doorbell chime. It's the Zoom way of telling us somebody has entered into the room, but that's okay. We'll hit pause, we'll say hi, and then we'll just move on. This will be recorded and posted inside the events page that it was posted on originally. It's also going to be available on YouTube. And the reason why I want to go ahead and post this on the events page is because I offered, if you invited a friend to this class, that you would get a rollerball blend of your choice. And what I'm taking our blend off of, it's a 5 milliliter blend, okay, beautiful little sticker, rollerball blend that you can apply to your pulse points. 5 milliliters goes a long way, guys. And you have a choice of picking either Balanced and Calm Blend, which has balance and lavender in it, Daily Immunity, which is On Guard and Melaleuca, Head and Neck Tension, which is Aroma, Touch, and Peppermint, Energy and Focus, which is Wild Orange and Peppermint, or Sore Muscles and Joints, which is Deep Blue Rub. Okay, so those are the 5 blends that you can choose from. If you, and here's how to get it. You invite and have a friend. You and a friend both watch this webinar, okay? This is all about gardening. This is an advanced essential oil class. We're going to move through the topics pretty quick. This isn't a Basics 101 class. I am going to be going over very quickly essential oils that can be used in your garden, other tips and tricks for your garden. Super exciting if you're a gardener, love anything about growing plants. You definitely don't want to miss this. But if both you and a friend watch this webinar later, just message me. Let me know, hey, we both watched it, and then tell me which blend you want, and I'll get that shipped to you, okay? So super easy. I love to just share these oils with anyone that wants to listen. So I'm going to flip over and share my screen now. A caveat before we get started. This class was originally going to be an Facebook interactive class. I use a wonderful program called Cinduit, who, with my permission, posts on a private page or a private group or a private event, different topics. And this originally was going to be a Facebook interactive class with gardening. But a lot has happened in Facebook that is kind of changing the security aspect of Facebook, and they're not allowing external companies to post for you anymore. So if you're familiar with, like, when you log into an app or it wants permission to post for you, it wants you to log in through your Facebook name, those aren't going to happen anymore. They're weeding all that out. And because Cinduit was a part of posting for me, there are concerns of security breaches. And so with the permission of Jared, the owner of Cinduit, he actually told us, still get this message out. And so I converted that class into a PowerPoint. And so the warning is that the pages are jam-packed full of stuff. So I have broken every PowerPoint 101 rule about how much you put on one slide. So take notes, pay attention to me when I'm talking. I'll hit the highlights. It's going to help me keep on track with each one of the posts. But I kind of had to throw this class together last minute because of that announcement, and with work it's just been really hard to edit and make this a super amazing PowerPoint, but there's so much information that it's totally worth watching. Okay, so let me flip over to the PowerPoint so we can talk. All right, so gardening with essential oils, guys, this is one of my favorite topics. I am a gardener at heart. I love gardening. I moved to Las Vegas, oh my goodness, it's almost 2 years this summer. But before then, I lived in Middle Tennessee, and if one thing Middle Tennessee is good for, it's gardening, guys. Their rainfall in the spring, their hot, humid summer is just a beautiful environment for tomatoes and peppers and melons, pumpkins. I loved gardening. I remember when I first got started gardening, we owned a house out in 30 miles south of Nashville in a little town called Christiana, Tennessee. And we had an acre, and it was a flat acre. What they do out in Tennessee is like farmers, once, you know, like the older farmer retires or dies, the family typically will divide the whole farm, the cattle farm, off into plots for builders to go in and build houses with. And so what happens is that all these neighborhoods are built on top of this amazing fertile soil. Well, I didn't realize how blessed I was with how fertile the soil was and the farmland that we had purchased. But we had an acre, and I called it my like learning garden. I really didn't know what I was doing. I went out and just tilled. And you know, when you rent a tiller, for goodness sake, you have to make sure that you actually like till something that matters. I tilled way too much, first of all. And then we mix in all this organic stuff, and we bought all this at the co-op, the farmers, or not the farmers market, but it's called the co-op. It's where all the farmers go to get all their supplies for their animals and their farms, and tack and garden supplies, things like that. And we were just like tilling in all this extra fertilizer and soil and mulch, and just to make this thing just really healthy and beautiful. Well, then I go to planting. And let me just tell you something. I didn't realize that everything was going to live because we had such an amazing soil foundation, and all the extra that we put inside of it to really give it all that nutrients. And the it's not called mulch. It's the extra soil like that comes from, like, you know, fertilizer, like cow poop and horse, you know what I'm saying? Like, you mix all that feed in, or you mix all that stuff into your soil. But anyway, we had amazing fertile soil. It had a beautiful foundation to grow on. And so all 20 of my cucumber plants grew. All 20 of my tomato plants grew. It was just really, nothing died. So I would take wheelbarrows out to like harvest the crop, and I couldn't give the garden supplies away, guys. Like, I had so many cucumbers that I was just like leaving them out for anybody to take at work, out on my driveway for people to come and take. It was kind of a southern thing for people just to leave their extra produce out at the edge of their driveway by their mailbox, and people would just take it. It was just extra and free. Pretty neat community environment in that aspect. But I fell in love with gardening that year, and just absolutely now don't know that I would not grow something. Now, out in the desert, I've got to be a little bit more creative, and we're actually attempting a hydroponic system. It's called a tower garden. So I've got to figure out how to incorporate essential oils into that world, but I'm working on it. So I'm just really excited about this topic. So why doTERRA, guys? This is an essential oil class. This is an advanced essential oil class. For those of you that are already familiar with doTERRA products, you're already using essential oils for your own natural health. Maybe you're not. Maybe this is the first time you've ever experienced a doTERRA educational program, and I welcome both of you. I'm not, because this isn't an essential oils basic, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty about like specific foundational essential oils. We are going to talk specifically about how to make your garden better. So if you're new to oils and you want to learn more about the basics, like, just message me, and I will either go over my basics class with you one-on-one, or I'll tell you when the next class is so you can be a part of that. I think there's some amazing stuff with essential oils foundational for your health, and this video starts to really explain it.
There are no wasted efforts in nature. The fragrance of a flower, the smell of an orange, or the scent of a pine tree all serve specific purposes vital to a plant's survival. What our senses perceive as fragrances or scents are actually volatile aromatic compounds, tiny organic molecules that serve a variety of protective, reproductive, and regenerative purposes. These compounds help ward off unfriendly pests, attract friendly herbivores and insects, and even help the plant heal from infection and physical injury. There are over 3,000 identified varieties of aromatic compounds, each with its own unique and functional chemical constituents that provide different aromas and benefits to the plants. From the petals of a flower, to the leaves of a plant, the rind of a fruit, or the resin of a tree, these volatile aromatic compounds are all around us. Distilled directly from their plant sources, essential oils are multifaceted agents that have seemingly endless applications to our health and can be used aromatically, topically, or internally. Ensuring the maximum potency and beneficial properties of an essential oil are the result of maintaining the delicate ratio of aromatic constituents found in that essential oil, all of which can vary depending on the time of day or part of the plant which is harvested, time of year or life cycle when harvested, the geographic location and whether where the plant was grown, or the method and even the duration of distillation. For that reason, it is vital that essential oils come from a trusted source committed to not only producing unadulterated essential oils, but to adhering to the strictest production protocols. There are no wasted efforts in nature. Neither should there be in the health care you provide for yourself and those you love.
All right. So I choose doTERRA. I'm not sure if you're familiar with doTERRA, if you use doTERRA, if there's other essential oil companies out there that you use. But I choose doTERRA very specifically because of the quality of the product, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, the honesty of the company, the variety of the oils, and even what the company stands for. They're just amazing. So
doTERRA essential oils have a profound impact on our health and wellness, but the impact of how and where they're sourced goes beyond a drop of oil. First, we search the globe to identify the best plant material, harvested and expertly distilled for oil potency and quality. Many of our essential oils come from countries facing economic and environmental challenges. This provides a unique opportunity for doTERRA to produce the highest quality essential oils while also doing good in a sustainable way. We call this co-impact sourcing. Through this approach, we are creating jobs and improving incomes in countries where they are much needed. Developing long-term partnerships with artisan small-scale growers and distillers around the world. These partnerships transform the playing field for growers to improve their production and establish stable prices, trustworthy long-term buyers. Helping growers organize themselves into cooperatives to achieve common goals and higher quality while ensuring farmlands are preserved and passed on to future generations. These cooperatives also ensure growers receive fair and on-time payments in favorable installments, help throughout the year. In these areas, doTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation is funding the construction of schools, health clinics, cooperative buildings, water systems, and more, to empower growers, their families, and communities today and tomorrow. Through co-impact sourcing, doTERRA is improving lives and providing hope to people in desperate need of opportunity. Through this approach, we ensure the long-term supply of the best plant materials to consistently deliver the highest quality products. So it's more than just a drop of oil in your hand. It's a catalyst for impacting many lives beyond your own.
So there's truly an essential oil for everything. There's a saying and there's cute shirts, and but there really is an oil for everything. doTERRA has taken that concept to an entirely different level. There are so many different product lines available. Before I got started with this webinar, the shower that I took included shampoo and conditioner. I'm adding a little extra rosemary to my shampoo to help stimulate hair growth. My husband is using it for a couple bald spots. The body wash I use, the lotion I put on, the supplements I put in my body, they're all from doTERRA. It's not just an oil company. They are trying to change people's lives with better health, with toxin-free environments. All the money in the world means nothing without your health. Your dream garden means nothing without your health. The perfect relationship means nothing without your health. A vacation means nothing without your health. And so many people take this for granted because we choose all these toxic products that really can decrease our health. Our skin, for example, is one of our largest organs on our body. And just with the soap that you put on your skin and the lotion that you moisturize with can, you're asking your body to really fight hard with those toxins if they're made from chemicals. And that's just one aspect of life. So doTERRA products can and will make an enormous difference when it comes to your health. And I just invite you on this journey with me. So before we officially get started, I want you to take out a pen and paper, and I just want you to answer a couple of questions. Why are you watching this video? Why'd you sign up to watch this? What do you love most about gardening? I love the ability to take this little seed and turn it into something that I can, something I've grown. It's like this wonderful get back to get back to Mother Nature. I love the ebb and flow of nature. I love just the joy of how it functions and really what nature is intended for that we forget about in this commercialized world that we live in. I love growing a tomato and eating it right off the vine. I love growing fruits and you just get to wash it, eat a strawberry, or pluck some herbs off and mix it with your vegetables that night. It's just so rewarding to have that I made it, I understand nature, I get back to the simple part of life. I don't have any pests currently threatening my crops, but maybe if you've just gotten started growing, you're starting to deal with some of those annoying pests, and essential oils are great for that. We're going to talk about that shortly. If you and I haven't met, my name is Chrissy Etheridge. I'm the Oilest. You can visit my website at www.theoilest.com for more information about essential oils. I love supporting people who are motivated to naturally improve their lives. Essential oils is one way to do it. There are so many other options out there for natural living. Are you looking for organic, fruits and vegetables inside your produce section? Are you using non-GMO products? Are you going to the butcher and maybe finding, the grass-fed beef or free-range chickens? Do you understand what that means? I really love to teach people about how to really improve their lives naturally. I've been married for 21 years. You can see Brian in the picture with me. He's my best friend in the whole wide world. We have 5 kids together. I don't have them posted on this slide, but we also have 3 beautiful grandkids. The youngest is not even a year old yet. She's turning a year in a couple of months. But there's also a almost 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. Holy cow, lots of grandkids wrapped up in there, and 5 just wonderful kids that are all growing up and starting to become adults and doing their own thing. I've been in healthcare for 13 years. Originally, I was a nurse for 9. When after I had all my kids, I went back to school and became a registered nurse. And 9 years into the program, 9 years working as a registered nurse, I graduated with my master's in nursing as a family nurse practitioner. And I've been practicing almost exclusively, well, I've been practicing exclusively emergency medicine for over 2 years now, but I've been a nurse practitioner for 4 total: ICU, ER, internal medicine. That's primarily where my work has been since I've been a nurse practitioner. But during my master's program, I started studying holistic nursing and found that with my love of nature and using all these natural products that I always was inclined to gravitate towards, I actually found research that proved that essential oils and aromatherapy and herbs really could be used for medicinal benefits. And so since then, I've been on this journey teaching people all about essential oils. I've been a part of doTERRA now for 4 years. We've been ordering with our family through the Loyalty Rewards program for about that long. And almost a year ago, May of 17, I started building my doTERRA business. I hope one day I can replace my income as a nurse practitioner. My goal is in about 2 years to do that. And that way I have some opportunity to teach people in my own pathway about like a wellness coach, teaching people how to live naturally, and just really educate people about essential oils. So that is my journey. So a necessary disclaimer, the FDA requires this. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Essential oils do not prevent, treat, or cure disease. Your lifestyle prevents disease with diet, exercise, rest, stress management, and toxic exposure reduction. Your doctor treats symptoms and fixes broken bits, but your body cures disease and heals itself. And truly, that's what like essential oils help, is they help the body function better so you can fix your body can do what it's naturally built to do, which is to cure it and heal itself. So I choose doTERRA, and we've talked about this a little bit, but there are 3 very specific reasons why I choose doTERRA. This is the first one, certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. I'll let the video explain it.
So when we talk about quality, it's not always about what testing you're doing. You have to look at the whole process and what that means collectively. And I believe that doTERRA does that better than anyone else.
doTERRA is the best company in the industry right now. I mean, they're the leaders. I mean, there's no one that's really coming close to doing what they're doing. I haven't seen anything like it in my 20 years of being in this industry, of a company going to the lengths that they go to secure the best oil in the world.
doTERRA's commitment to quality starts well before the plants are even distilled. Through our co-impact sourcing, the CPTG process starts then. And then it goes through a 3-tiered testing process that starts with outside labs and finishes off inside the company here, and then continues on after the bottles are sold.
We do several layers of testing, including GCMS, optical rotation, specific gravity, refractive index, chiral testing, carbon-14, probably more extensive than just about any lab out there.
I've been doing research with essential oils for about 15 years now. So I worked with a lot of oils and a lot of tests. And the one thing that I've noticed consistently is that unless you're starting with an oil that has a consistent quality, you're not going to get good results.
You know, a lot of our oils are used in aromatherapy or topical use. So we want to make sure that we do not only make a product that's effective, but it's also going to be safe. And that's why we do a thorough analysis to look at the composition to make sure that it is safe. But at the same time, we also go ahead and do skin irritation testing, which is also called as the RIP testing or repeat insult patch testing, to make sure that when you apply it on topically, it's not irritating you to your skin.
To a wellness advocate, we always keep them in mind, and we talk about it in our training. And what matters is that the details matter. You know, quality is in the details, and so because we're so passionate and so detailed, we're sure not to miss those things that are going to make the difference between just an okay product and a great product.
We stand behind our quality processes because we have the most in-depth and knowledgeable staff. We have set the standard for what the quality process should be. The testing knowledge that is gained as well as passed on in each bottle is, you cannot measure.
One of the things that I've recognized about the quality of essential oils and the testing is that it's a dynamic environment. It's changing. And this is why it's so important that doTERRA leads the front, that doTERRA is developing and processing and coming up with new ways, new opportunities to prove out the quality of essential oils, and frankly, in a way that no other company is able to do. as we continue to grow, as we continue to expand throughout the world. I'm proud to say that doTERRA has made that commitment and will not waver or deviate from that.
So I like to remind people when we talk about this certified pure therapeutic grade, there are hundreds of essential oil companies out there now. This has become a huge trend. This is, you know, and unfortunately when trends occur, everybody jumps on the bandwagon because they're looking for a profit. And so I caution you to be careful with that because unfortunately over 80% of oils on the market today are synthetic or adulterated. And either that means that they're created in a lab or they're modified for bigger volume. You know, the oil might not be actually the oil that you are trying to get because they've added some other natural chemical inside there, natural additive in there to either prolong the shelf life or to make the volume bigger so they it's cheaper for them, but they can still maintain that profit. doTERRA is committed to testing every one of their essential oils. They partner with growers around the world to ensure that we have the purest source of essential oil that starts with that foundation. You know, I talked about when I planted my garden, that foundation that my soil allowed. Really, I didn't have to do much except water it because I had given it such a good foundation in the beginning. doTERRA understands that plants grow best where they're supposed to grow. If you know, when you go to buy your plants and you look at the zone that you're supposed to buy from, if you happen to not fall in that perfect zoned area, you're going to have to do a lot to that plant to get it to grow. You're going to have to shove chemicals in it and food and nutrients. You're going to have to water it differently, maybe even shade it or protect it from the sun because that plant doesn't belong in that space, right? We're trying to grow something that it's not supposed to be in that space. doTERRA says that's not really how plants are supposed to grow. We want to partner with farmers and distillers around the world so we don't have to artificially do anything to these plants. These plants know what to do if they get the right soil, the right wind, the right pH balance in the soil, the right natural food that's provided in that area. So it's pretty neat what they do with this co-impact sourcing when they partner with these local farmers. Take a look.
We knew that we would have to reach around the world at some point and tap into the global supply of essential oils. And we also assumed that we would need to increase that as well. The fact that we were able to do it with this co-impact sourcing model was just beautiful.
2/3 of the countries that we source our oils from are considered developing countries. And so we now have an opportunity to truly make a difference, to provide sustainable income for those people who are growing, harvesting, and distilling these beautiful oils for our benefit.
What we're doing through these initiatives are first, job creation in rural areas where we can have a big impact. 2, working through long-term sourcing contracts and agreements with our partners. 3, helping the formation and organization of cooperatives which share collective benefits among the harvesters and the growers themselves. 4th, fair and on-time payments and even profit-sharing programs that the distillers offer to the growers and harvesters. 5th, through linking community-based and social impact projects funded through our Healing Hands Foundation.
For them to get the water, they had to walk at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, okay, back and forth. Today we can see that it's a special lake because water has been flowing since midday today with the help of doTERRA, of course, and the Healing Hands. Okay, we put a good team together, and that's how today everybody is happy. On either side, it's like a win-win-win situation.
Sometimes it's schools that they're in need of, sometimes it's water systems, sometimes it's medical clinics, medical supplies, whatever it might be. If you can change the lives of these people that have so little, that's how you can actually impact an economy.
We share the same values, the same philosophy. doTERRA's vision is to source sustainable oils and to create co-impact at the source to improve growers' livelihoods. So we are perfectly aligned in what we want to do. So that's why we signed an exclusive partnership with doTERRA on the aromatherapy business.
We are now working with more than 6,000 families in the cardamom sector, and the idea is to really improve the livelihoods of that family. I get the importance of getting back to my country and help the people in my country.
Oftentimes they think that their lives will always remain the same. And for someone to be able to really come in and be able to care about them and care about their family and to give them a sense of pride for the work that they do, to know that it matters, it's amazing to see the lights go on and for them to truly have that pride in their heart to know that they're doing something good for the world. We are so committed to co-impact sourcing because this is a way we really see that we can make a difference in the world, in these countries that have no other means of help, have no other means of support.
Not only, of course, is meeting the needs, but we're able to obtain the high quality essential oil that we must have, but also just the ability that it gives us to give back and to help so many people, to provide employment for so many people. That's been just downright magical.
So the third reason is that I choose doTERRA is the Healing Hands Foundation. Healing Hands is the charitable arm of doTERRA. It's a nonprofit organization. There are almost 7 million customers with doTERRA, and we are blessed that with each order you can actually donate $1. That is just powerful what it can do for this Healing Hands Foundation and how they just improve the lives around the world. And this is really interesting. doTERRA covers all overhead and administrative costs of the Healing Hands Foundation, which means that 100% of the donations go directly to those receiving aid. So take a look at this video.
Jamie and Teddy Duletsky and their family relocated to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to create and sustain a safe and free birth clinic. The $10,000 that was donated by the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation will be used to acquire and furnish a house, which they can dedicate to the care of mothers and babies in Tanzania. Jim Hicks, president of Thirst Relief International, has completed clean water projects all over the world. The doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation donated $10,000 to Thirst Relief International to a much-needed water project in Savongari, Cameroon. The donation provided 70 new biosand water filters, which will serve 900 people in the village. Tricia Hoffman works closely with the Reach the Children Foundation, which provides underprivileged children opportunities to become self-reliant by strengthening families and communities in countries throughout the world. The $10,000 donation from the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation was put toward the Stay Alive HIV/AIDS Prevention Education Program in Liberia. The donation brought this program to well over 22,000 students taught in schools, churches, and communities. Betsy Holmes and her team routinely gather oils together and go on mission trips to share the oils in countries in Africa and other locations throughout the world. She has recently organized a charity called GiveOils.org. The doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation donated $10,000 worth of essential oils to Betsy's projects in Africa. The oils that were donated went to the caretakers of 170 orphans in the area of Twapia, Zambia, a leper colony in Kasimpa, Zambia, and an orphanage for abandoned babies in South Africa. Deborah Gardner and her team at One Heart Bulgaria have been a part of many humanitarian projects in Bulgarian orphanages for the last 15 years. The $10,000 donation from the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation will be used to build a small apartment complex for orphans who are aging out of the normal system and will be homeless. It will take more than 6 months to get this project off the ground. The donation will be included with the additional funds that need to be raised to start the project.
So pretty awesome stuff. Just what this Healing Hands Foundation could do. There's one thing that the website didn't talk about, and these are, you know, like those are doTERRA wellness advocates that received funding through the Healing Hands Foundation. But doTERRA also partners up with nonprofit organizations that are already doing remarkable things. Operation Underground Railroad, if you're not familiar with that, it takes ex-CIA, military, police officers, those type of people that have that training, and they go in and break up sex trafficking rings throughout the world. And then they also help rehabilitate those children that were unfortunate enough to get caught up in that and be used. And it's just, just being able to break through that red tape, opening up those organizational rings and just busting through. And they're doing some pretty awesome things with on-site labs where they can collect the data immediately so things can't get lost through the shuffle. So pretty awesome stuff. There's another one called Day for Girls, very, very amazing foundation that throughout the world, and I didn't even realize this because I just grown up in America. I didn't realize that when you started your period and you just went to the store and you bought the sanitary stuff that you needed, the napkins, the, all of that stuff that you needed. I didn't realize that, and just not, I'm just so sheltered being in America, that there are women and girls throughout the world that don't have those resources at their fingertips. And unfortunately, they live in very uneducated, impoverished environments that they're shunned from the village when it's their time of the month. And they're actually put in these, they look like dog houses until their monthly cycle is over because they are unclean at that moment, or maybe demons are coming out of them, or whatever their villages believe. And so women starve to death and dehydrate and die of heat exhaustion, depending on how hot that environment gets for them while they're sitting inside these huts. They barely even get fed. And so Day for Girls is a pretty phenomenal organization that sews, reusable cloth sanitary napkins, so these women can continue to function, these girls can still continue to go to school, and they don't have to be shunned into these dog huts. So awful. If you're not familiar with either one of those, just go look them up. Pretty awesome organizations. And Healing Hands pairs with those and donates a significant amount of contributions to help them continue their efforts. So how to use essential oils. If you're new to this, there are 3 ways, and this slide is busy and I apologize, but there's 3 ways to use essential oils: topically, aromatically, and internally. When you put essential oils on your skin, they reach the bloodstream within 20 seconds and then distribute out to your body within 20 minutes. So pretty awesome. If you're going to apply it topically, you can apply it to the area of concern, like if your back is hurting, your stomach's hurting, that's where you'd put those specific oils. Or you can just put them on your pulse points and they will distribute out throughout the body. We dilute topically with fractionated coconut oil to avoid skin sensitivity, and we always dilute for children and babies. If when in doubt, you have no idea where to put your oil, just put it on the bottom of your feet. It just allows for quick absorption, and you can always apply it to the back of the neck or spine as well if you just don't know where to put your oils. But a good place that I like to put them is pulse points. So your radial pulse points, your carotid pulse points, those are really easy. It's going to be close to your nose so you can smell it all, but it's going to distribute out. Aromatically, you can diffuse it in a diffuser, or you can just place a drop in the palm of your hand and take a big deep breath, and you're going to get those wonderful effects. And you can take internally. I'm only talking about doTERRA because I know how it's trusted with that certified pure therapeutic grade model that they use. They're the only company out there doing it and testing that rigorously. And just don't assume that it's okay to use any brand internally, guys. It's not. Their purity is important. If it's safe to use internally, the bottle will say supplementation fact on it, okay? So reducing toxic load, I kind of touched on this a little bit with just the products that you use every day, like on your skin, but we are inundated with toxins, guys, in our food, in our health, beauty products, deodorant, toothpaste, food, preservatives, you name it, guys. Our body it's like in chemical warfare. It's really interesting. Dr. Needleman, a pediatrician and professor at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, said we are conducting a toxicological experiment in our society in which our children and our children's children are the experimental subject. Seriously, our grandmothers, our grandfathers did not deal with all of the chemicals that we currently are up against today. And every effort that you can make to reduce the toxic load, your body will thank you. And so, oils can help clean your home, reduce your stress, manage seasonal threats. We're going to talk about how you can use essential oils in your garden to reduce the use of pesticides, okay? So the very first amazing blend that every gardener should have is called Terra Shield. Terra Shield is a proprietary blend from doTERRA. It includes ylang ylang, cedarwood, catnip, lemon eucalyptus, Leticia arborvitae, Nootka, and vanilla bean absolute. All of these possess specific chemical compounds to protect against pests, okay? They kind of give the plants a barrier, and they give you a barrier too. You can make a plant-safe, person-safe, pet-safe pet spray with Terra Shield. You need 4 ounces of purified water, 50 drops of Terra Shield, and a glass or stainless steel spray bottle, and that is your toxic-free pesticide that you can just spray on your plants, you can spray on yourself, you can spray on your pets, and you're going to have this wonderful just bubble of protection when you go out into the world. I'd keep it with you. Essential oils to work, they need to be applied frequently. So I would probably say, depending on how wet you get or how much sweat you're doing, to apply about every hour. If you're walking through the woods and you want to make sure you don't get those ticks, make sure you spray your boots, especially your socks, things like that. So amazing, chemical-free essential oil spray to help prevent you or your plants from being invaded. So a hand soap, this is a really neat recipe, a natural recipe. You know, you're going to get done with your garden and you're going to have gunk on your hands. You're going to have the soil of the earth underneath your fingertips. But you definitely want to clean your hands when you're all done. And this is a really great exfoliating hand soap to use when you're done. So you can add other essential oils besides geranium. Really, the sky is the limit when you make your own products. But you need a half a cup of white sugar, a half a cup of Castile soap. You can get this. I use the baby version that you can buy because it doesn't have any fragrance to it. A lot of times when you buy this soap, it's going to have different already smells to it. I just get the baby one because that's fragrant free. Use 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil, 1 teaspoon of vitamin E. When I get my vitamin E, I get it in the little capsules, or these little golden capsules. Twist the top off, and then I squeeze the vitamin E in. It makes it last longer. You guys use whatever you want. And then 15 drops of geranium, but again, you can add a few drops of your other favorites like lime, lemon, and rosemary. But this is a great exfoliator. You can keep it under your sink so you can clean your hands when you're done in the garden. A tool cleaner, super important to clean your tools when you're done. You want to mix 2 liters of water with 10 drops of melaleuca in a glass spray bottle. You can sanitize your tools, your pots, etc. So this is really nice. Once you get done, make sure you dry them thoroughly before you store them so they don't rust. Okay. Neat little tip. And a couple gardening hacks. I don't know if anyone on here has heard about companion planting, but I loved doing this when I had my own garden because you can use the plants themselves to help either A, ward off pests around other plants, or B, encourage better growth. So a couple of things that you can do. Basil. I plant basil around tomatoes all the time. Basil is a natural pest control, so it helps keep some of those very specific bugs away from tomatoes. You can plant dill around cabbage, cucumbers, lettuce, and onion. Rosemary loves beans, cabbage, and carrots. Sage loves cabbage, carrots, and tomatoes. Basil, marjoram, oregano, and thyme. You can plant that throughout all of your garden crops. A couple of really neat things to keep in mind. If you've ever heard of the, I think it's called the Indian trio. It's a neat crop circle that Indians used to use where you would have your corn in the middle, your beans around the corn, and then your squash outside, I believe is the trio that it used. But some really neat hacks about that. A, the beans used the corn as their natural pole, but also beans create nitrogen that sits in the roots of the bean, and a lot of plants need nitrogen to help improve the green leafy side of the plant production. So just some really neat tips and tricks. Other neat things that aren't mentioned in here, you can plant marigolds around anything. Even though marigolds are really pretty, they stink, and pests hate marigold smell. So that's a natural way to not have to use pesticides in your garden. Nasturtiums is also a really great plant that helps keeps away all those little tiny gnat bugs and aphids, excuse me. And you can also eat the beautiful flowers that come off of those plants in your salad. So a couple just little tips and tricks. White vinegar is also an amazing aid to have, a natural herbicide. You can just pour it just over like your concrete or your sidewalks. That helps kill the weeds that are growing that you don't want. A 50-50 mixture of vinegar and water will kill slugs. And then if you want to preserve your cut flowers, add 2 tablespoons of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of sugar for every liter of water. So a neat little natural herbicide that you can use that isn't going to add extra toxins into your body. I know slugs, you can also, they hate copper pennies, and so I used to see these hacks where people would put copper pennies around their garden to keep slugs from going in it. We're almost done. Epsom salt, bigger, better produce. With flowers, you want Epsom salt in the mix. Magnesium is amazing for seed germination, production of chlorophyll, and aids in the absorption of phosphorus and nitrogen. And then also sulfur is a key element to plant growth, which helps produce vitamins. So you want to add a tablespoon of Epsom salt to the soil when planting, or mix into the soil around the established plants. You can also dissolve a tablespoon per gallon of water to use when you water your plants every 2 weeks. And then you can add these, screenshot this or go back and look at this. Arbor vitae is pretty much a pest control for everything. Basil, flies hate basil. Cedarwood is good for bed bugs and fleas. Eucalyptus is good for flies and roaches. You can just kind of go on and so forth. Geranium is great for tick repellent. Peppermint, look at peppermint. Peppermint is amazing for everything. Ants, aphids, beetles, moths, plant lice, and spiders. Thyme is good for beetles, chiggers, cutworms, and ticks. So really take a look at this and see what your problems are and add those essential oils to your sprays for plant protection to help get rid of those just pests that like your garden just as much as you do. And this, I've practiced how to say this, but I'm just going to call it DE, Dermatomaceous earth. This is fossilized, powdered, leftover fossils really is what what this is. It's 3% magnesium, 5% sodium, 2% iron, 19% calcium, and 33% silicon. This is amazing as a natural insect control, guys. This stuff kills bed bugs. It dries them out and it kills the exoskeleton, so that's how it works. But you can apply this to your garden. You can mix it in a wet ratio of 1 cup of DE to every 2 cups of water, and it's a great natural pesticide. After the harvest, guys, it's time to enjoy it, but you know, our hands and all that work and the blisters and the sore muscles. So here's just a couple of tips and tricks. The Deep Blue Soothing Blend for doTERRA is amazing for muscle aches and pains. I love it. I use it every day. It's got peppermint and wintergreen. It's just a nice natural muscle relaxer. Your chapped hands, you can use the scented or unscented lotions. It comes in rose, citrus bliss, or unscented. It's a beautiful lotion that's just nice and not oily. And then blisters can be improved with lavender oil. Your cuts and scrapes, there's a Correct X, which is a multi-purpose natural ointment instead of using the chemical neosporins. And then when it's time to chill and relax, here's a great recipe for a lavender lemonade using lavender, lemon, maple syrup, and lemon juice. So yummy. Really nice way to refresh after you're done. One awesome essential oil that not everyone is familiar with is Melissa. It takes 76 pounds of plant material, lemon balm plant material, to make 5 milliliters of Melissa essential oil. This is an amazing, sweet, aromatic oil. It attracts bees to help pollinate your garden, so you can add it to it to give this natural bee pollination attraction, but it's also got a great effect on your mood, feelings of tension, restful sleep, and promoting feelings of well-being. Pretty awesome essential oil to have in your arsenal as a gardener.